Hello, everyone. I trust we can all hear me. Can we hear me? All right. I need to be connected. Let me know where you're joining from. Let me know where you are connecting from, please. Kindly type it in the chat box. Let me know where you're joining from. Give me a second. Yep, we are good to go. All right, please type it in the chat box. Let me know where you're joining from, please. I think I need to move here a little. Okay, perfect. Let me know where you're joining from. Just type it in the chat. Yeah, today we're exclusively streaming to YouTube. I think the last week I was also streaming to um, Facebook as well. Okay, let me be more comfortable. All right. Okay, so we don't have Facebook people here today. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So yeah, keep it coming. Let me know where you are typing, where you're joining from, where in Nigeria you're joining from, where in Africa you're joining from, where in America, where in Europe. Just type it in the chat box. Let me see and let me know where you will be joining from. And for those of you that will be watching the replay, as soon as you start watching it, just type it in the chat or in the comments, then rather, where you are actually watching from, where you are streaming from. Can they give this video a thumbs up and share it so others can be aware we're doing something amazing here tonight? It is going to be a practical workshop, just like I mentioned to us last week. It doesn't get more practical than this, actually. All right. So, awesome, awesome, awesome. So, I just want to be sure everything is in order as we move on tonight. Hello, everyone. If this is your first time here, probably you saw one of my posts on any social media platform and you were directed here, or peradventure you're scrolling through YouTube and you found your way here. Hi, my name is Dari Salami. I'm an AI business consultant and I am the founder of D Corp International, a business strategy and consultation agency. We help C suite individuals, companies, businesses to scale and profit the right way using artificial intelligence. It's no news that artificial intelligence is the new buzzword. Everybody's talking about AI. Not even everybody's talking about AI. AI is everywhere. And obviously, everybody just has to talk about AI in the educational system, in the health system, in the especially in the financial, market and anything that relates to, finances, your businesses, companies, individuals, everybody's talking about AI because apparently that is where the economy has shifted to. Apparently, we are in a new dispensation. We are in a new dynamic. This is probably the last evolution as we would know it. For those of you that joined the stream last week, you might want to go and watch it immediately after this one. I did a breakdown of where we're coming from the first industrial revolution up until now, because it's very important that you are aware of where we are coming from to help you plunge into this new gold mine. I can't even necessarily call it new anymore, but the market of AI is still looming, it's still booming, and there is a lot of opportunity for creators, for builders, for technical people, architects, whatever it is that you're currently engaged or into, whatever field you're in. You have a place in the artificial intelligence ecosystem. That is just the good news. All right. I know a lot of people are scared. AI is taking over. What will be the future of work? Blah, blah, blah. I've written quite a lot. I've spoken quite a bit about it for those of you that follow me on my social media platform. By the way, if you aren't following me yet, uh, please do so. All right. Yeah, that's it showing on your screen. Hold on. Okay, perfect. So ensure you're following me on all my social media platforms, on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on X, and on TikTok at Dracy. It's right there scrolling past your screen. So make sure you follow me. Now, I have been speaking quite extensively about the future of work. And business wise, I think I've written about 2 articles now, even though I still have quite a number of articles I still want to put out there, quite a number of blog posts I will put out there this coming month. Here's what you need to be aware of as regards the future of work. Again, I spoke extensively in the last AI series we started last week. What you need to be aware of as regards the AI about the future of work is that you should be a creator. When I say creator, not necessarily you coming in front of the camera like this to speak. No, creator, simply a creator. And what are you creating? Creating solutions. That is just it. What you should be concerned about is how can I create solutions? It is only those that are purpose driven, solution oriented, that survives and thrives in every industrial revolution. All right, the Elon Musk, the experts, the leaders out there, they are not they are not worried themselves about where they would be as regards the future of work. They're not concerned that AI is going to displace them, but they always have something to say about the masses, because they just believe there will always be problems, and I'm a problem solver. That's the mindset every entrepreneur has, anyways. That I'm a problem solver, and that's the same thing I hope to imbibe with my community, and as for as many of you that have been following thus far, is that you should be solution and problem oriented. I'm just trying to give like a recap into last week series we did as regards the future of work. Don't be deceived with the whole job thing. How can you be a creator of jobs? Because obviously those that are, because anytime we talk about the future of work, um, what we usually talk about is, okay, what work can you learn? What skill can you learn? Now the thing there is, if you learn a skill, who are you serving? You're serving someone that has a company, someone that has a business, right? Someone that has something going for themselves. That's why you get a job, to work for someone else. Why do you hone your skill? To work for someone else. So how about you start thinking with a ownership mindset of, how can I be the person that have something going for them, so much so that it is other people that will be thinking of the skills they should have and how to survive in the AI world of how to serve me. It is always about the masses. It's always about the labor market that pushes every industrial revolution. And AI is the biggest leveler that can allow a common person to level with business leaders and industry experts, basically. So that is the mindset I want you to have, that you are a problem solver. once you can have that mindset ingrained in you, you never have to worry about a job or what have you now. All right? Be solution oriented. Now, we're going to be getting into it very, very shortly. Make sure you get your notepad. This is a practical session, like I mentioned last week. This will be a workshop. Um, so let's get ready. If you still haven't liked, shared, even if you're watching a replay, share it right now. Share this video right. If all I've been saying thus far, for the fact that you're even still hearing me, it means what I'm saying is making sense thus far. And you're intrigued, you're enlightened. You'd like to know practically how you can position yourself. Very important. It's more about positioning. I'm a thought leader, so that is my job, to re-engineer your school of thought, not to just necessarily get one skill. It is important. We're going to talk about those skills in a jiffy. All right. But it's really how you position yourself for this shift, how you position yourself. That really is it. That's why when I was speaking last week extensively about the history of the Industrial Revolution, I mentioned it that all the people that took advantage of the Industrial Revolution shift were people that just knew how to position themselves. Yes, they might have the capital, they might have the money and everything, but they knew how to position themselves. And I explicitly said that this AI revolution is different because you don't necessarily need money, as in contrast with other industrial revolutions. In as much as you can see this video, you can read, you can write, you are computer technologically literate to have a phone, you do not have an excuse. All right? You don't have an excuse. You just need to position yourself. So please make sure you watch that video and let us get right into it. So first and foremost, how can you make money with AI? How can you position yourself in such a way that you won't be eluded? You won't be out of a job. Now, I mentioned again last week, I'm making a lot of inference to last week because I really laid the foundation everybody needs to know. I mean, everybody should watch that video. When they say AI will take your job, two things. Either AI will take your job, meaning you'll be fired, or you'll be the bottom part of the bottom feeder. And this is what a lot of AI experts are not really saying. And you're very lucky and fortunate you're catching this early on. So you can know how to position yourself. A lot of people will not necessarily be displaced in their jobs, but they would just become the bottom feeders. As always, they would become the bottom feeders. All right? If you're just joining, type it in the chat. Let me know where you're joining from, please. So again, it's when they say AI will take your job, please note that not necessarily that AI would replace you 100% or that you'll be fired out of a job. It means that you'll be at the bottom feeder. And what that means is that you might be self-employed, but you still be at the bottom feeder. That's the mindset. That's what I was trying to communicate to us last week. That when they say the bottom feeder or AI will replace you, is that AI will replace your economic power, your economic position. That is what I mean. You might still be doing the same thing, but the economy has changed. AI would literally take your place in the economy. It will take your economic value. That is what I mean by, that's intrinsically what is meant by AI is going to replace you. Is that your economic value would be reduced to little or nothing. Basically, AI would replace you. So, say for instance, you're self-employed, whatever it is you do, you can keep doing that thing. You might feel, oh, AI has no business is this thing I'm doing. You are right. However, you are doing that same thing. Two things is either the money you'll be paid will either be less, or which definitely we've seen happen, that amount you're still currently earning will still be what you're earning. However, the economic value would have been less. $10,000 5 years ago, what you can buy with it, and $10,000 today, what you can buy with it. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yes, inflation. However, in this case, it is your economic value that AI is coming for. Not necessarily that you'll be fired. Of course, people will be fired. People are getting fired ever since 2020, ever since the pandemic. We've been seeing it. Ever since 2023, the AI boom. I mentioned it last week again, right? People will be laid off, no doubt. But when they say AI will replace you, please understand. I'm emphatically saying this so that you will not hold on to that your job that is irreplaceable by AI as a form of security. That's not the idea. The idea is that AI is going to replace your economic value. Your economic value. And because, like I said, AI is a leveler, not just in your country, not just geographically, literally globally. So that means the economic value would be weighed on the standard of the global benchmark. So yeah, a lot of people would not just be replaced from their jobs, they would be at the bottom, um, bottom feeder. Hi Adebumi, joining from Lagos. Thank you for joining. All right. So that is the mindset I really want you to have. Because again, for those of you that have been following me, that's my socials down there. I've been mentioning the fact that we are in a gold rush. And for every gold rush, you know what happens. A lot of people just rush to buy the tools. A lot of people just rush to buy the tools. I deal with businesses. I've been seeing it in the business sectors. A lot of people just rushing to integrate AI into their business. It is ruining their business. I'm saying individuals, creators, freelancers, everybody's just rushing to get the tools, forgetting that you actually need to position yourself. So yes, you can be the person that sells the tool, but the thing is for how long? That's the thing. With every other industrial revolution, you have to have a certain form of skill to be able to sell this tool. In this case, to teach AI, right? To give out that knowledge. The skills being the tool, right? Either prompt engineering, design architecture, vibe coding. Coding is pretty much getting obsolete right now. Yeah. If it is other industries, other evolution, you have to take your time to learn it, then sell it to people as right. So those that were selling it were not so much, but now it is different because you can literally imagine a gold mine or a gold rush. Back then, those that sold the tools, they made so much money because not everybody sold the tools and everybody wanted a piece of the gold, including the poorest of the poorest in the economy. They'll save up, go and work just to buy that tool. Now it is very crazy in this dispensation. Why? The tools, you can literally pick the tool on the floor now. That is where we're at. Information to know, it is literally, you can literally pick it up anywhere, and you can even tell ChatGPT, I want to learn this stuff. I was preparing for a training one time, and I needed to consume a huge amount of information. I just put it in my notebook LLM. It's part of the things I'll be showing us today. Compound, let me know the intricate thing. I want to understand this thing. Give me what I need to understand. So basically, anybody can be a tool seller, right? Which is another skill, which obviously is something that's profitable. But we're going to be going above that, beyond just being a tool seller. Do you understand? Beyond just being a person that teaches the skills for money. How can you really position yourself for this evolution? How can you shift from just being a freelancer, from just being a person that has a skill or a job, to someone that do not have to worry about the next industrial revolution because you create jobs? Because think about it. Anytime we're talking about, the future of work, the AI experts, the Elon Musk, the AI leaders that they come out to talk about their concerns, they are not really concerned about them and their future. They are always talking about the future of the masses. So how can you become part of that elite group that anytime they're talking about the future of work, what you're thinking of, oh wow, how will it affect my business? How will it? That is what you should be thinking, not necessarily how it will affect your survival. And that is why I said, for those of you just joining, that intricate shift you need is how can I be a problem solver? Those in the big corporations and everything, they don't have to worry about necessarily the future of work. It is the masses that have to think of upskilling themselves, upskilling themselves to get a job in those corporations. So how can you shift yourself to become like those corporations that you never have to worry about the future of work? That is what we'll be picking up practically into this session, and that is basically what I'm about when it has to do with AI education and the future of work. So you might want to follow me and subscribe, and let's get going. So I'll be bringing up my screen now, and I'll just be giving us some few skills. I just wanted to be sure that we have that out of the way, and by that I mean hold on. Okay, and by that I mean the foundation you need basically. All right, we just needed to get out of the way, so that as you'll be learning these skills, as you'll be learning to interact with these tools practically, you're not just having it as, oh, I have this skill now, what is the next job? Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying jobs are bad. I still take up jobs, do you get? But it's to have the ultimate reason and the higher level of thinking that this is to build something for myself. We're seeing teenagers that will vibe code the app and they'll sell it for millions of dollars. You can do it too. Okay? You just need to have an idea, and that is it. And like I said last week, again, we're in a era where if you have an idea, you don't necessarily have to pay to see it executed. Before now, you needed to pay an engineer to put it on a website for you to see it. But now you can have everything at the snap of your fingers, literally. You can literally just tell it, oh, this is what I'm thinking. I need to see it visually. I need a prototype. You need to get funding. You can get funding easily for your prototype. As easy as that. Anyways, let us get into it. Okay. Give me a second, guys. Okay. All right. Wonderful. So before we get started, I'm loading up my screens now, my slides. So we'll be getting into it practically. Please share. If you haven't shared, please share this stream. Give me a minute, and we'll be back. Yeah, just give me a minute. Let me get water, and then we'll be back. So just sit back, like, subscribe, and share to your friends. So yeah, resuming in the next 2 minutes. Just let me get water, and we'll be back. Let me give us some music. Just a minute or two, and we'll be back. All right, we're back. All right, we're back. Awesome. So I hope you have your notes with you. I just went to get water now. You should probably also get water or something, and let's get right into it. All right. Yeah, feel much better now. Okay, I believe you can see my screen. Yeah. All right. I believe you can see my screen. Please give me a second. I need to clear something out of the. Okay. Okay. I just have to be sure everything is in order. So, how can you actually be, profitable using AI? I just mentioned the mindset and how you need to position yourself basically for the for this AI shift. However, there are still certain skills you need to be able to pick up that should at least bring you money to be able to build into the mindset you need to have, into the what's the word now? The self-made person, if I can use that word, to become pretty much. So here are the pathways, practical pathways, and as we're going through this, I will be doing it practically as we go on. Okay, I'll be giving us the tools, I'll be showing us exactly how we can achieve it. All right, so let's get into it. So the first thing is to freelance with AI tools. Hope you guys can still hear me. Okay. So the first thing is freelancing with AI tools. Freelancing with AI tools, we have creating AI powered products, offering AI consulting, building AI content, and automating business processes. These are currently the most profitable. Basically, anybody doing anything around AI is centered around this. Okay, you would agree with me. Is practically centered around this. Um, these things I just listed right here. Okay, sorry about that. It's practically listed in what I have currently here. Sorry about that. I'm just a little bit distracted. I have other things going up on my screen here, and I just have to clear it. Okay. All right. That's sorted. Thank you. Again, if you're just joining us, please put it in the comments. Let me know where you are joining the stream from. All right. So we have freelancing with AI. What does freelancing with AI entail? It entails enhancing services like writing, design, coding with AI. And how are you positioning yourself? You're offering faster, higher quality work to clients on freelance platforms. Okay? Now, the thing is, most of these platforms are actually quite saturated. You would agree with me. In fact, in case most of you are not aware, most of the people you are seeing online are not actually people. Most of them are actually bots. I think for the first time in history, the population of the population on the internet, I think bots are about 50% of that number of the population on the internet. And that is like super, super crazy, right? So, how can you freelance with AI? Next slide. Now, you can enhance your freelance services by leveraging AI tools for writing, design, coding, and more. Deliver faster, higher quality work to clients, like I mentioned, on platforms like Fiverr, Upwork, and TopTal. AI amplifies your productivity and allows you to take on more projects or charge premium rates. Now, you know this. How can you now get the skills? Where can you tools like writing, design, coding, and the like? How can you do them? So let's get right into it. For writing, you have tools like your chat GPT, right? However, for more in-depth work, because we're talking about writing here, pretty much anybody can go to chat GPT for writing, yeah? Now, for more in-depth work like research, you might want to leverage tools like Perplexity, all right? You may want to leverage tools like Perplexity. Now, there is something called prompt engineering, which is a skill you need to pick up as regards freelancing with AI. That's like the basic skill you need, how to prompt AI. It is very, very important. It's one of the most overlooked skill I have seen out there. A lot of people just think because they can put in words into AI and AI it's quite smart, it can adapt to kind of grab your intent. However, prompt engineering is actually a skill that you need to take on. And what is prompt engineering? Basically, prompt engineering is your ability to get the best results from your large language model. That's your ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude, whatever. That is what prompt engineering is. And I think I mentioned this in the last session when someone asked if how do they go about getting if they are if the output of their AI of their chatbot is not giving them the right thing, how do they do it? And then I mentioned prompting frameworks. So you might want to go and check that out. So prompting framework, you can just search it on your Google right now. Prompting framework, you're going to see it. So that is basically how you are meant. That is the structure you're meant to follow whenever you want to get the best and the desired result from your chat GPT. That's going to separate you from literally everybody that's just using it generically. Because apparently almost everybody is sounding like a bot these days. You don't even know if somebody's real or not. Why? Nobody's really thinking for themselves again. Everybody's using AI for their content. AI, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you should not use it, but let that be that uniqueness to yours, that human element. Let it be there. If you tell an AI to write an article or a post for you, it would not add humor. It will not add that human element to it. So that is where you come in. Something people can relate. That I will go to your post, I can read it and it looks like, and I can just relate, I can connect, I can laugh when I'm reading your post, your content. That is what separates you from every other writing out there. So I'm not saying you should not use AI to generate your content. All I'm saying is add human element. Let there be that human element. And guess what? When you understand prompting, right? When you understand prompt engineering, it helps you to achieve it. You can tell it to add humor based on your style of writing, based on the kind of audience. That is what prompt engineering helps you to do. It helps you to reframe it in the way you would do it. That is what prompt engineering is for. So you can even add it to your part of your skill that, oh, for instance, they're actually in an interview. What separates you from every other person? That is a skill that is highly needed. And you can take up free courses from Google, from Microsoft on prompt engineering, 1 hour course, you're done. Add it to your portfolio, you are good to go. All right. I think I've mentioned the tools you need for in terms of writing, and the most important aspect is prompt engineering. There's another thing called meta prompting, which you might not see like that on Google, except maybe you do a little bit of study. I mentioned it last week towards the end when someone asked me about this. What is meta prompting? Meta prompting is asking your LLM. When I say LLM, LLM is large language model. GPT 4.0 is a large language model. Claude, Gemini, those are large language models. You can ask whatever it is you're interacting with. Tell it that, okay, this is what I'm trying to achieve. How do I write the prompt? That is called meta prompting. All right. Telling the large language model to give you, okay, I'm just saying a message now. If you can't see the write up on my screen, go to settings, okay? Just go to settings and change the quality. Is that okay? Change the quality to a higher resolution. If you are using a lower resolution, the text on the screen might not be clear. Okay? The text on the screen might not be clear. Hold on. Let me see if it's something like, yeah, because, yep. Yes, set it at a higher resolution. If you set it at a higher resolution, you'll be able to see the text. Oh, hold on. Let me see. Yeah. And you might want to put your phone on landscape mode, or like basically in the full mode. If you put it in full mode, you will be able to see it. Okay? Yeah. I also have my phone here with me, and I can see it like very, very clearly. Okay? So yeah. But just ensure that you are following me. What is on the screen, I'm also like saying it out. Okay? So make sure you change the resolution to a higher resolution and probably put your phone in landscape, like how you saw it on my phone. Awesome. All right. So we've spoken about tools you need for writing. Now, and I mentioned I've mentioned best practices for writing. I mentioned meta prompting. I mentioned prompting framework itself, and meta prompting being like the ultimate one. Basically telling whatever platform you're interacting with, oh, this is the scenario. But understand prompting framework first. It will help you with meta prompting. Okay? It's not as if you're reading a book. You're just literally reading few lines to know what prompting frameworks are. Okay? Wonderful. So I mentioned meta prompting to help you better. Or you know what? Let's just do something very, very practical here. Okay. So let's do something very practical. This is Chat GPT, right? So if I go to Google now and I search prompting framework. Can you see that? Let me enlarge this a bit so you can see it. Structured methodologies, acronyms, or set of guidelines used to design, manage, and optimize input for large language models. They enhance AI output relevance. Okay, so now here are some common frameworks: reason, role, input, step, expectation narrowing. We have race, that's role, action, context, execute. So what is role? Role is basically what you want it to act as. So say for instance, in this case, you're a writer, you want to write, or you can give me examples in the comments, okay? Maybe your field, your niche. Put it in the comments, all right? Let's say you're a designer, you're a graphic designer, whatever it is you want to do. And then you say, okay, um, the role is, you can give it a role. Okay, you're an expert graphic designer. You're an expert musician. You're an expert copywriter. Whatever it is, give it the role. And then you put the input or the context. In this case, for this reason framework, it uses input. But you can see in this race, sorry. However, in this race framework, it uses context, not input. Do you understand? So give it the role, give it the input or the context. Okay, what you are trying to achieve. Give it the details. Okay, I'm a graphic designer, or you are an expert graphic designer rather. And you know what? Let me just. And the beautiful thing about it is you even have AI mode in your Google, so you can even tell AI in Google to give you example, right? So you can see, let's say, as a so let's say I choose I want to use that reason, the RISEN framework. Where is it? It has gone away. Okay, let's just go back to our chat GPT. So I can say using the reason prompt framework. You guys should give me something practical now. I need something practical. Type it in the comments. Let me know what you do. Let's use someone in the comments or in the stream as an example, okay? Using the reason prompt framework, let's just do writing. Depending when somebody gives us something in the comments. I'm trying to write a, let's say, website copy for a client in the food business. Example, like in the food business. Okay? In, let's just say, Nigeria. Okay, no, let's say in northern Nigeria. Let us see what it gives us. Nope, this is not really what I want. Now it is using the, no, I want, let me retype this. In northern Nigeria, give me the prompt format. Not the copy itself. Okay, so we're kind of refining that, which is like very important. Again, ChatGPT actually make mistakes. I'm sure a lot of you know that, but make sure you're explicit, as explicit can be. It can usually, I've done this before, and this was not how it gave it to me. But so that's why it's important you cross check everything it's giving you. Okay, so let us send this, and let's see. I just want the prompts. That's the prompt you're meant to give it. How you're meant to prompt ChatGPT. Okay. Better. Aha. This is what I am looking for. Wonderful. This is what I'm looking for, the prompt structure. Now, what I have just done here is called meta prompting. Telling the LLM how I want, or asking it how it should be prompted the right way. So, role, you can see, act as a senior conversion copywriter with a deep understanding of food business, right? Here are the inputs you must use. So I'll put my business name, the type of business. But basically, if you have all these things, if you have all this, what are they called? Information, feed it into the prompt. Follow these steps carefully. Remember, we're using a the reason framework. Follow these steps carefully, and then the website should, so you can edit all these expectation, blah blah blah, and then you can, it's even telling you optional add-ons if needed. You can append any of these to the same prompt and the likes. Now, if you prompt it, you might not get this result. Do you know why? Mine, my ChatGPT is different from your ChatGPT. It does not give output the same way. How can you achieve this? Let me show you how. This is what a lot they will not tell you. It's often said that ChatGPT is a yes guy, right? Quite alright, but here's how to make it more accurate and more tailored to you. Under your, just go to your settings, and then you go to under personalization. If you go to settings, come under personalization, okay? In your personalization, go to custom instructions. You can see there's already something in my custom instruction. You see, I filled a little bit of this, you know. You can, I didn't really want to give it much information about me, but yeah, I just tell it what I do and my nickname. You can fill in this if you like. For instance, like if you're if a humorous person, your personality, so that when it's giving you prompts or when it's giving you reply, it will give you as you would sound. If you're a warm person, if you're a direct person, if you're, you can add those more about you there. Now, under custom instruction, you can see what I give. I says you are an expert who double checks things. You are skeptical and you do research. I'm not always right, neither are you, but we both strive for accuracy. With this custom instruction, anytime it feels the idea I'm proposing is not too good, it can tell me that, guy, calm down. This thing you're saying, I don't really think it's a good idea. It will not necessarily outrightly tell me like that, but it will just bring it to me as a suggestion. All right. So that way, your chat GPT is not just a yes guy, always agreeing to everything you say. Okay. Cool. Let's move on. Let's move on quickly. We've spent so much time on that. Coding. Claude currently is the best. Claude currently is the best. I was reading the news from the lead engineer at is it not Google or Microsoft, about how a recent project of hers, she was able to complete it in in about an hour using Claude Code, saying how accurate Claude Code is, and that, and one of Claude's aim is to actually replace software engineers as a whole. So not just in writing code, but in vetting code, in deployment and the likes. So when it has to do with coding, you might just want to read a little bit basic things. You can go to your chat GPT, tell it, I'm trying to offer my services as, to build websites or to code for clients or to check code for clients. Tell it how you'll be able to position yourself. To tell you how to. So there is also coding, there's writing, there is design. Beautiful. I hope you know that now you can connect, if you press the @ symbol in your chat GPT, you can connect your Canva and you can connect your Adobe Photoshop. Can you see that? You can connect your Canva and your Adobe Photoshop directly. So you can use this for design as well. Anytime I'm creating proposals and the likes, I usually use, AI to do most of the work for me in terms of designing, because I'm not really a design person like that. And all I just have to do is just to edit in Canva. How cool is that? So yeah, you can in fact, let me show you guys. Can I show you guys? Let me show you my brochure. Um, I'm trying to show you guys my brochure. Hold on, guys. I don't know why I can't find. Okay, okay, I've seen it. Okay, cool. So, oh, I can even make this bigger. Ah, cool. So as you can see right here, I created this brochure using, um, you know, AI. So it just basically exported it, the design in Canva, and all I just had to do was go into Canva, edit the text, and the images were generated with it. So, so you can see this. So you can see, imagine doing this for a client, and you get paid for it. You can use this for your own personal, work, and when you send it to client, oh, I like this stuff you do, and definitely you can charge them for it. Anyways, moving on. So we've talked about writing, we've talked about design, we've talked about coding. Um, so that's that. AI powered products. You can build innovative AI application, plugins, or software as a service platform that solve real problem. Example includes chatbots, content generators, image tools, and automation software. You can monetize them through subscription, one-time purchases, or licensing. This approach offers scalability and recurring revenue potential. What are the tools you can use? Uh, you know, for chatbots, you can use your anything. Anything is mostly for automation, but you can still use it for chatbots, where you can give people personalized chatbots, connect it directly to their WhatsApp, their Telegram, whatever application they're using, connect it directly. You don't necessarily have to know how to build them. Like I said, you can vibe code them. What are the vibe coding tools? Since most of the stuff you mostly vibe code them when it has to do with product, you can use Google AI Studio, you can use Bolt, you can use Lovable, you can use Cursor. I started with Cursor. Cursor is like super amazing if you're more technical or you're someone that have written code in the past. But if you're not any of those, you can use Bolt, you can use Lovable, you can use Replit. I've used Replit too before, really awesome software. So you can also use Replit as well to build all this, stuff that I mentioned. If you're just joining, please refer to the beginning of this video. That's the real thing you need to learn. Okay, that's what you need to have, not just the skill but the mindset to solve problems. So when you're looking out for problems, that is where these skills can be applied and then monetized. So if you're just chasing after the skills, after the money, you learn, then what? Okay? So chatbots for those companies that have to deal with inquiry all the time but they don't have enough hands. You can deploy a simple chatbot for them. You can vibe code it. It works perfectly well. Individuals that have all these influencers that have a lot of DMs or online businesses, build a automated chatbot system for them. And what is the problem you're trying to solve? Inquiries, to answer their question, do the basic simple stuff. All right. Content generator, again, using anything. You can generate, you can deploy content generators too, using anything, using your normal LLMs. You can generate content. There's this new marketing tool called Astral. You might want to go and check it out as well for content generation. It's basically a marketing package. Image tools, you can use Nano Banana from Google, one of the best out there. Just go to your Gemini, create images, automation software. I mentioned Anyten as well. You can use Anyten to automate stuff. You can use Twin.so. I think if you go through my Instagram, I mentioned how I was using a tool to scrape the internet, or LinkedIn specifically for leads and all that. That's also an automation software basically. And then you can monetize it through subscription. You build it out for them and tell them, okay, you collect a monthly fee depending on the problem you're trying to solve and who you're trying to solve it for. It's not all that you have to do subscription. There are those that will just be a one-off thing. All right. Next, AI consulting services. If you are an expert in a particular field outside of AI, with your understanding of AI now, you can niche. Say, for instance, you're a farmer, you have the knowledge of agric and everything, combined with the knowledge of courses, fundamentals you take, AI fundamentals you take, you can go into AI consulting services. We are now an expert in that particular your field, but with an AI edge, just like what I do as an AI business consultant. Are you checking that? Makes sense? So you can help businesses integrate AI into their operations. You can advise on strategy implementation and optimization. So businesses, irrespective of the industry, architecture, you know, whatever business it is, in as much as AI can be integrated, and AI can pretty much be integrated in pretty much any business, no matter how small, no matter how local, no matter how manual, one way or the other. You just have to be innovative, have the mindset to want to solve problems. Services include AI audits, workflow automation, staff training, all of which this is my field. This is basically, I do all the stuff listed here. I audit AI systems, I integrate automation workflow and I audit them as well. I train staff on AI adoption, company staff and business staff on AI adoption, and then I do a performance analysis as well. Consulting commands premium rates and build long-term client relationships. So there has to be a level of expertise for this to occur. AI content. I think I mentioned that in the freelancing part, right? Yeah. So you can create and monetize high quality content using AI, write blogs, articles, ebooks, online courses, and educational materials, and you can sell them through platforms like Udemy, Teachable, Medium, or your own websites, YouTube as well, faceless content. You can take an advantage of that. You can build an audience and generate passive incomes through ads, sponsorships, and affiliate marketing. And then finally, automating business processes. I kind of mentioned that as an overview, but this is me just niching into it. So you can use AI to streamline repetitive tasks for businesses. What is one task that business always have to repeat every single time that is taking their time resources? Picking up phone, acquisition, research, content research, all those are repetitive tasks. For instance, data entry, customer service, scheduling, reporting, and the likes. All these processes are repetitive tasks. They follow an algorithm, they follow precise step-by-step processes. So you can automate them. The same thing too that happened with the second industrial revolution, which is the assembly line. If it can happen then, it can happen now, and it is happening now. So you can automate specific business processes. Mind you, as a AI business consultant, I have to advise you. It is not every AI, it's not every businesses or any process, it's not every process that needs to be automated. Because businesses are distinctive, and not every part that is automatable is automatable at that time. So that's where I come in and I step in. Um, so you can offer automation solution as a service or product. You can help companies. So your selling point is not that you're selling the tools, or I can do automation for you, I can repeat tasks. No, is that you are saving them time, you are reducing costs, you are improving efficiency, and then you are freeing up staff energy for a higher value work. That is what you're selling, not the tools. You are selling the outcome. Very important. Sell the outcome, not the processes or the features. Let them see the benefits. Let them see what will happen if you do not patronize them, basically. Again, it's all about positioning, not necessarily about the skill. Because if you have position, even if you don't have the skill, you can collect those jobs, those gigs, and find someone else to do it for you. So all these things I've mentioned, you don't necessarily have to do them or know how to do them. Once you can understand the first part of this video, of this live stream, apply it. Position yourself. Okay? Position yourself in a way that you don't even necessarily have to pick up, do the manual labor. There are literally tens of thousands of people that will do it for you cheap. And again, AI is evolving in such a way that you don't even have to need people for those things. When the whole automation thing started, you still need someone to build the automation pipeline. You still need someone to, but now you don't even need anybody to build it. AI can now build automation pipelines. AI can now automate all those things for you. That's where we're going. So you need to um, be a problem solver. Have that mindset of being a problem solver, being a problem solver. Be able to think outside the box. And one of the skill, if you have to really develop above all this, yes, above all this, is the ability to take decisions. That is one thing AI cannot necessarily, we can't necessarily give AI that power. Making decisions, humans still have to make decisions. So be a reader, be enlightened, know how to take sound judgments. You have to learn it as a person. That's what separates us as human from humans and robots and machines, basically. And you can build recurring revenue through service contracts as well. So these are just few or the major ways. Any way you want to make money in the AI ecosystem is found in all the slides and all the things I've talked about. It's just for you to know what is important, prioritize them. Remember the mindset you need to have, then the skills. In fact, the mindset you need to have and the understanding of the economy or the field or the industry you want to serve, how to monetize and how to position yourself, then the skills. All right? Very, very important. So the stack is how, the mindset you need to have, that should be at the top of the pyramid or at the first layer in terms of order of priority. The second is understanding of your industry or your niche. The third is how to monetize. And then the fourth is the skills itself. So all these things those that is what is going to single you out in this AI gold rush, in this ever crowded, oh, AI here, AI this, AI that. That's this arrangement, this stack. That is what is going to separate you. That's what's going to separate you from everybody else. Originality. So keep reading, keep growing, keep learning. You shouldn't just be consume specific information. So once again, the mindset, the orientation you need to have. Number two, how that your particular industry works. Okay. Number three, how to monetize in that niche. And then lastly, the skills. And in all these things, what should be found is originality and decision making. Anyways, tonight has been a long one. Already past the hour mark. Make sure you're following me across all social media platforms. You get more information during the week there, more opportunities, more practical things, more practical guides. All right. So I hope you really apply these things. Watch it over and over again. Keep doing it. You can even start by offering these services for free or put it out upfront free first. Do you understand? Put it upfront. Okay. Free first. And if they enjoy what they're seeing, then they can commit. But please relive this stream over and over again. Understand it. Read book, research on it if you have to. This is what is going to make you on the top 1% in this AI evolution, in this AI gold rush, basically. All right. If you want to be on top in this evolution, make sure you are following me and you don't miss an update from me. Thank you also very much for joining. I will be answering and picking up your questions in the comments even after the stream. So make sure you do that. On my social media platform, I'll respond. I'm quite fast responding to comments there as well. Thank you all. Do have a wonderful night rest or day, whatever time you're watching this from. Cheers, everybody. Bye bye.